Okay, everybody, welcome back. If you're following along, this is Lesson 5, Eminent Domain and Taking. We just finished 4 other lessons, which are right in here. So if you're following along in order, you'll look for these subjects, because I'm not sure if YouTube is posting these in order. I usually try and post them in order, but I don't know if they stay in order or not. Sometimes they delete some of my videos for whatever reason. I try not to put any music in my videos at all. All right, so let's see. Introducing eminent domain and taking. Whenever a property or interest in the property transfers hands without the owner's consent, it's considered involuntary alienation. The owner is alienated from the property and is done involuntarily. All right, let's listen to a discussion in the form of eminent domain. Eminent domain is on the exam, and it might not be written in this way. They'll usually give you an example and ask you what type of police power this is, because they had different types of police power. I do remember I have taken the real estate exam in both Maryland and Virginia. I passed it in Virginia, and now I'm trying to get it in Maryland. But I might have to take this again in Florida. I don't know, because I'm planning on moving to Florida. So I don't even know why I'm taking this, but I've already paid for it, so we're gonna take this. Someone mentioned eminent domain a moment ago. What is eminent domain? Jerry raised his hand and Joe pointed to him. It's a smart man in the green shirt. Jerry replied, "The power of the government to take private land for publicly use." You're right. Eminent domain is the ultimate police power. I mean, their goal is not to take it. For example, if they need, I had a girlfriend who had property near the airport, and they were expanding the airport. They needed parking for the airport, so they eventually had to. I mean, what will happen is they will keep sending you offers in the mail, offering you a certain amount of money. Builders will, these contractors or these companies will send them money, like $1 million or $500,000, whatever they feel is the value of that property, and they can take it or just wait it out and see if they get more money. But eventually, if the state needs your property to grow, because it's growing, and the airport is outgrowing, they will come and actually just take the. Now, if you wait that long, you might not get as much money, because the state might not have as much money as these individual businesses. So it's just, it's very interesting. So it's like, how long do you wait? There's like a line you cross, because they need your property, but you want the most money you can possibly get for your property if you're going to be forced to move for whatever reason. They may need it to build more houses, because the market is so in demand. They don't have enough houses. They might need your land to build 20 more houses and get 20 houses on your land instead of one. So the builders might be offering you, a lot more money for your property than you could get on the regular market. So it's very important that you know how much your property is worth. When the government actually takes someone's property, it's called wait for it. It's exactly what I was just saying. Because a taking can happen using eminent domain, but there's also a government taking where the property owner isn't compensated, and you don't want that to happen. When the government takes your property under eminent domain, the process is called condemnation, because a governmental authority appraises the property that's taken, and the owner of the property is offered an appraised value, and the appraised value might be less than what somebody else is offering for you. Now, the owners can decline the amount, and they could also hire an attorney if they think it's too low. So if you're getting offers from a business or builders or whoever, and it's like super high, and they'll usually start off pretty high, and if you can wait it out and see if they go higher. Sometimes they'll go higher, and then they'll get like to a limit where they just cut it off. But if the government comes in and says, we got to take it, whether you like it or not, they're probably not going to offer you the best deal. So if they don't offer you the best deal, then what you could do is go get an attorney and see if you can make the difference. So my advice, if you're ever in this situation, is to make sure you save all of those offers that you were getting, because if you have to take them to court, you can prove to the judge that your property is worth more because you've got offers that were like 10 times higher. I mean, inverse condemnation is one kind of taking, and let's talk about another kind of taking. It's the kind that doesn't involve any kind of compensation from the government. Basically, the government is in denial about what it's doing, and this type of taking is called inverse condemnation, and it usually occurs when private property is regulated by a government authority. So this constituted taking would be an inverse condemnation, and since the government hasn't actually condemned the property and offered the compensation to the owner, the owner has to sue the government for compensation. All right, let's say a city decides to widen a street, and doing so, it ends up blocking off the entrance and exit into a parking lot of a store. The city's construction doesn't physically impact the store, but without a way to access the store's parking lot, customers have nowhere to park and start shopping elsewhere, and therefore the owners of the store take an inverse condemnation action against the city, saying that they should be paid for the entire property because the city's construction has caused the store to lose business. And I see this happening in cities all the time, by the way. They're over there doing something and it's messing up their business. It doesn't seem right that the government can just get away with this. Inverse condemnation is a significant area for litigation, for lawsuits. All right, let's talk about another aspect of eminent domain where litigation has occurred and the government can take your property for private use. If the public authority believes the private project will serve the public good, just as I was talking about earlier with the building up of a community or parking spaces at an airport, it can involve the power of eminent domain. This has traditionally been done to clean up blighted areas. I guess blighted areas, blighted means poor areas. I'm not sure. I've never heard that term before. I mean, I guess we can Google it and see what comes up. Blighted. Blighted. Let's see what that means. Severely detrimental effect. Okay, so bad effect. So if, where were we using this at? Blighted areas. It's not a good thing, right? Clean up really bad areas. That would probably be my neighborhood I'm in right now. I had 2 fires. Well, actually, we had 3 fires in this neighborhood, and 2 of them have still not gotten fixed up. So it's detrimental to this entire community, and it needs to be cleaned up because it's looking very ghetto, and it's not ghetto here. We got a lot of people that work hard in this neighborhood every single day, and we only have a few bad apples around here that don't care and sell drugs and want to go burn up properties because they don't know how to control their emotions. But anyway, I'm going down a rabbit trail. I talk about some of these things in my videos. But this is an example of a blighted area. All right, this form of taking is initiated by the government. Same thing we just been talking about. This occurs when a private property is regulated by a government authority to the detriment of the landowner. Compensation is owed to a landowner when the action deprives the owner of all economical viable uses. I think it's this one. Let's try it. Okay, so the first one is condemnation. The first 2 are condemnation. The last 2 are inverse condemnation. Remember that inverse condemnation means the property owner has will have to sue the government for payment. So the owner initiates the action. Now with condemnation, the government initiates the action. Okay. So inverse is the property owner initiates a lawsuit. Condemnation, the government. All right. Okay. And government. The government is by the property owner, Let's see. Okay. So the first two are by the government. Condemnation. This could be on your test, so it is good to know. And this is private property by the property owner is owed to the landowner. Okay. All right. If you need to take any screenshots, you can do that right now. So it's kind of a long video. A lot of information in this one. And these kinds of questions will be on the test. You need to know the difference between eminent domain and I think there's another one we have to, police power, public land use, interstate land sales. We covered a lot of stuff in this lesson here, escape, which has to do with getting a will, you know. So if you need to go back and look at that too. We have 8 questions on our unit exam, which is next. It's good for you to do these things, even though we can't do them live as of yet because I don't have enough interest in this these real estate videos yet. Maybe when I get 100 million subscribers or 1 million subscribers, whatever, you know, we could have future live classes, which would be cool. By the way, they spelled unit wrong in here. Did anybody pick that up? So if there is anybody actually watching this and they're listening to what I'm saying, maybe in the future I'll get more interest in this for people who are trying to become a realtor. They spelled it wrong up here too. So somebody needs to go back to spelling class, right? Spelled unit exam wrong up here, spelled it wrong here. All right. And anyway, if you're following along, the next one is the exam. And I'm going to try and break down the titles so that you know what exam it is. Because we have different exams for different units. So that you don't get lost. And you know which, you know, if you want to take a unit, if you want to practice and get some ideas on some of these questions, it's good to take these unit exams. All right, that's the end of this video. I'll see you on the next one.